Okay, so here we have the latest steam engine from Hornby TT 120, the J50 tank, more commonly known to local train spotters as Ardsley tanks, because there was quite a lot round in Ardsley in the West Riding. These locos could be seen anywhere from London to Doncaster, Leeds and the West Riding. I don't remember any coming to York, and I never saw any in real life, but I'm not too worried about that. They will go well with any of the LNER based layouts or Eastern region layouts. The loco here is what they call the late crest version, which is the lower bunker. Although quite plain, which is not Hornby's fault because these locos were plain in real life, there's still a fair bit of detail, especially around the smoke box door. The handrails themselves, they are separate mouldings. I don't think the wire, but I'm not going to start playing around with them to check. The footplate has got little lamp irons on, and the smoke box door handle is a lovely little piece of moulding. You can see here how it's set away from the door, unlike the older versions where they used to be all moulded in one piece. So this is very similar to what the Terriers were like. One thing that was spotted by somebody else, and it was on one of mine, is that the chimney top is not pushed right down. I've pushed mine down, but you can see it is slightly misaligned. The front edge of the join is slightly set back, whereas on the back edge it's overhanging or parallel. So it's a little bit of an issue with the moulding, but only when you look at it magnified is it noticeable. From a distance you can't see it and it looks perfect. You can see here some of the different handrails, the cab side, tank side, and one on the corner, but that's about it. There's no external pipework or anything like the Terrier, and the chassis is quite a neat one, and they have changed them. They've got crank pins the same as the A4 and Duchess. These are screwed on, unlike the Terrier, which are push-in crank pins. The bunker got quite a bit of coal in it, and these days it looks a bit more realistic than what it used to do in the old days. Again, some nice neat little lamp irons on the back. Initially, when I first saw this, I thought that the reversing lever on the inside the tanks looked as though it was printed on the chassis sides, but in fact it is an actual separate piece that is glued onto the body. You can see there where the small piece for the reversing rod is. This body is fairly easy to get off. You do have to remove the couplings though, but then it's two small screws, one at each end, and it lifts off, making it fairly easy to come off. The front steps, they are plastic and I think a bit flimsy, but hopefully they will be okay. The chassis itself is quite neat, and what does surprise me, and has surprised a few others, is that there is a speaker fitted at the back that goes into the bunker. I don't have any problem with that, although I don't have sound or anything. It might be that I might take it out and just put a bit of lead in there for an extra bit of weight. But as you can see here, the cordless motor is fitted with a flywheel. You can see here where one of the crank pin screws has come out. I'll have to go and look around the layout now to see where that is. But I do have a few ideas for this chassis for different locos and conversions, but one of them involved putting some larger wheels in. As you can see, that's going to be a problem because the casting here actually is wider than the wheels and it's been recessed for these wheels to fit in. I don't know if I'll be able to remove some of that to fit some larger wheels, especially when you can see that there's a silver pin which could be going through all the parts of it to hold one of the gear wheels, but we'll see what happens later on. Just a little look down on the top showing the flywheel, and we'll now go on to something else. I don't normally do this, but one of the conversions I have for this is a Great Western 56XX. A lot of people complain about the lack of Great Western locos. Well, this one will be fairly easy to do. With a Lincoln Loco's body, there's very little trimming and it just needs a pony wheel at the back, and then we'll have a nice little Western Region tank engine. I do have a few other ideas for the chassis, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. One thing that Hornby have changed with this design, as well as sorting out putting a cordless motor in, is the pickups. Instead of going along the collector unit sideways onto the wheel, they now protrude downwards onto the back of the wheel. I think this is a lot better idea for these wheels, but it might cause an issue when I want to fit bigger ones. But again, we will wait and see. Right, now time to see what these little beauties can do on the layout. First up, there will be a short passenger train. As usual, lovely and quiet. And then, what these locos were designed for, long coal trains. As with all the Hornby models, they are very powerful, especially for the size. There we have it, two little beauties. Well done Hornby yet again.